It feels kind of like when you get into a hot tub after leaving really cold water. That's how my muscles feel. This is it. Don't expect to sit down until we're done. We're gonna start taking an attention posture by bringing our toes together, our heels slightly apart. You can bring your hands down to your side. Roll the shoulders back, bringing the shoulder blades down the spine, creating some width across the clavicle. Wiggle them out if this is the first thing you're doing today. But engaging the shoulders down the back, tucking the outer ribs in, contracting the navel to the spine, tucking the tailbone under, and engaging the feet into the floor, slightly bringing your thighs apart. This is standing at attention. So it's 6 o'clock on a Monday evening. That means it's time for the Monday night reset. Engaging our heels into the ground. We're taking a standing at attention pose, just finding our balance, finding how our body responds to standing appropriately. Bringing our toes together, our heels slightly apart. Engage your feet into the ground, lifting through the kneecaps. Tucking the tailbone under, creating a little bit of space between your thighs just by engaging our legs into the ground. We contract the navel, trying to pull it through the spine, knitting the rib cage together, rolling the shoulders down the back, creating space across the clavicle, relaxing the jaw. Keep your eyes closed if you're comfortable. Keeping a slight bend in our knees is okay, especially when standing for long amounts of time. Start to engage your Ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We lift the back of our tongue in our throat, creating texture to our breath. The Ujjayi breath creates heat in the core and in the body. So if at any point today you're feeling hot and need an extra breath, inhale through the nose, give a big open mouth exhale, almost a sigh. If at any point during today's practice you feel uncomfortable, feel pinching, or anything like that, the posture I'd like you to take is either child's pose on the ground if you're able, or taking your feet to about hip width distance apart, giving a nice big bend to your knees, shifting your gaze about 45 degrees down to the floor and picking a focal point. Especially if you're dizzy at any point, this will help you regain normality faster. Coming back to our standing at attention pose, we'll get started. Inhaling the arms up long, giving a cactus back bend, lowering the arms to about 90 degrees on either side, and pushing the chest through, shining it forward to the ceiling or sky. Inhale, arms back overhead. On your next exhale, gaze up slightly as the hands touch. You can knit your hands together in fists. You can take little yogi guns. Still can't see that. Yogi guns. Or you can leave them flat against each other. We inhale, hinging at the waist for an easy side bend to the right. You should feel this along your whole left side body. If you'd like to engage this even further, you can take a half bind, wrapping your right hand behind you and resting it on your left hip. This can give you some more trunk stability to bend further into the posture. I'll like this one. Now I'm blind. Inhale back to neutrality, releasing the hands slightly and re-engaging them. On your next inhale, shifting to the left, hinging at the waist, pushing those index fingers towards the left. Again, option to take half bind, releasing your left hand, wrapping it around and resting it on that right hip. Don't forget to breathe. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling further into the bend. My mentor called this standing banana pose. Inhale, restoring neutrality to your spine, both hands overhead, and let them go. Bring your gaze back down in front of you, and shrug your shoulders down your back, away from your ears. Inhale, we're going to drop the hands forward, stopping when they're directly out ahead of you. Inhale, drop the right hand down, raising it behind you, opening up your chest to the right side. You can shift your gaze to either thumb. If you'd like to engage the twist further, go for the one towards the back of the room. Your right hand in this case. Again, option to take half bind. Otherwise, you should feel like you're pressed between glass, only down to your rib cage. We're trying to engage our hips both forward as we're twisting just our chest, giving our spine a good hug. Inhale, bringing your gaze back to your front thumb, gliding your right hand to meet it in front. And then on your next inhale, dropping your left hand down and raising it behind you to open your chest out to the left. Again, keep engaging your hips forward. If you'd like to go further into the twist, you can bring your gaze to your back thumb, in this case, the left hand. If you do shift your gaze, pay extra attention to where your hips are, because they have a tendency to drift wherever you're gazing. Inhale, shift your gaze back to that front thumb. Exhale, gliding that left hand across and out to the front. Inhale, Tadasana standing pose, bringing both hands up overhead, engaging the shoulders down the back, tucking the tailbone, engaging the navel to the spine. Inhale, shift your gaze slightly up, cactus back bend, lowering your arms to 90 degrees on either side, pushing the chest through. Inhale, Tadasana, bring the hands back up overhead. Again, making sure that we have our shoulders down our spine, aren't letting them shrug up to our ears, controlling them, creating space across that clavicle. Inhale, lowering the arms, shrugging them up to the ears like I just told you not to, and then lowering them down in front. We'll roll the shoulders forward once more, bringing the hands to the thighs, tucking chin to chest for standing cat. Rolling the shoulders open, bringing the head back, gaze going upward for standing cow. Here we're bringing stability up through to our hips, giving our back and our chest the opportunity to be open. You can bring your hands to your hips if this helps you. Inhale, roll the shoulders forward for standing cat. And roll them back once more for standing cow. Inhale, restore neutrality in your body. This has been the first 10 minutes of class, so if you were just here for a little stretch break, thank you so much for taking this time for yourself today. If you'd like to continue with us, of course, I won't say no. And with that, we'll go into the rest of our standing sequence for today. We'll take it back to the top of our mats. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Rock back and forth just for a few seconds here, engaging the contact points of our feet with the ground. Inhale to find stillness. Inhale, bringing the arms up overhead for standing Tadasana. Again, we engage the shoulders down the back, contracting the core, tucking the tailbone slightly under, and knitting the ribcage together. We inhale, raising the right foot in front of us, 90-degree angle in the knees. If you'd like to complicate this posture a little more, you can bring your leg out flat. I can't because I'll kick this wall. Inhale, lowering that, or stepping that back, stepping your right foot back on the mat. We want to be occupying two lanes, two skis on the mat, if you will, for for Crescent Lunge. Take a few minutes here, or a few seconds here, to make sure your feet are far enough apart that you can bend deeply in the left knee, getting to approximately a 90-degree angle, and so that you can push back through the right ankle. If your hamstrings are tight, or you just need a lighter version of this pose, you can always bring it down to a hovering lunge. From Crescent Lunge, we set that back foot down, pivoting it slightly for Warrior One. Inhale and exhale. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straightening the front foot, keeping the arms up overhead. Pivot that right foot back even further. Your right foot should be facing forward, well, not forward, to the right side of your mat. Your left foot facing straight forward towards the top of your mat for triangle. Both knees, are straightened. We're making sure our hips are facing towards the front, externally rotating our left thigh and internally rotating our right. Option to bring the hands to heart center, engaging through the palms and each knuckle. Here's where a block might come in handy in our next posture we're moving to. Re-engaging the hands up overhead. We inhale, hinging at the waist towards that front foot. Dropping our left hand to our left thigh, calf, or to a block if you'd like. Medium setting is generally right for starting out. Opening the chest, expanding the right hand up to the sky. If you are using a block, try to make sure that you're not putting all of your pressure into it. Re-engaging your core, and pressing into the earth through all four corners of both feet. If you have a hard time balancing in this posture, feel free to drift your gaze down to your left foot. If you're prone to hyperextension, try not to put all of your weight, regardless, try not to put all of your weight into that left leg. We're supporting our trunk with our core and our hips. Two more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Create rigidity through your core. Windmilling the arms up overhead for that preparatory triangle pose. We're still facing our hips and our hands towards the front of our mat. Inhale, bending the left knee, sweeping down between the legs, opening up to the right side of our mats. Our feet are both facing towards the right side of the mat. Hands can place on the floor for wide-legged forward fold. To create extra pressure, isometric pressure, the kind we love in yoga, for this posture, you can place your hands approximately under your shoulders, push back, engaging the fold more. You can also place them back behind you and pull yourself towards the ground. Option to keep your knees bent in this as well. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale once more. Open mouth exhale. Halfway lift, wide-legged. We bring our hands out, walking them forward until you can engage roughly a flat back, as flat as you can get. Also come up to your fingertips or fists if you'd like. Re-engage that forward fold. Inhale, walk your hands on over to the back side of your mat, towards your right foot for a runner's lunge. Hands on either side of your right foot. Push back through the left ankle. Ooh, I just got some nice hip clips. Inhale, rise using the core, coming to Crescent Lunge. Engaging a 90-degree angle in the front leg and pushing through the left ankle again. Option for hands up, option for hands at heart center. Making sure our feet are occupying separate lanes. Two more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Drop the left foot so that it is facing towards what was normally the right side of your mat. Now it's the left side of your mat. Straighten out that front foot. Option to engage warrior two arms in this preparatory pyramid posture. Otherwise, sweeping the arms overhead, engaging the hips towards that right foot. Reminder to drop the shoulders down the spine and engage core lock, knitting the ribcage together, tucking the navel to the spine. Again, if you'd like a block for this side, get that ready. Inhale, hinge at the waist, lowering the arms to be parallel. Ooh, slippery mat. Heart attack. To be parallel with the ground. Ooh, gotta get a blooper reel going. Uh, for this preparatory triangle, then we're gonna lower the right hand down to the right calf or floor if you can reach that far, or block if you'd like, which I'm gonna do today. Placing the block directly under your shoulder will help you be able to reach the floor with this posture when you're ready to get rid of the block. Gaze shifts down at the right hand or up towards the left. You look like the weirdest cursive T. Lowercase t, probably. Lots of tails and frills. Inhale. Exhale. Option to throw in some open mouth exhales if you're feeling extra body heat. Two more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. You're doing great. All right. You can get rid of that block. Inhaling to bend that front knee. Rising over top. I think technically we did more on the other side, but you did well. We deserve it. You're gonna bring the hands back down, bending that knee, sweeping through the center to the center of your legs, opening your stance out towards the side of your yoga mat, placing the hands approximately under the shoulders for wide-legged forward fold. You get an option to push to engage this, or pull to engage this with our hands on the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, walking the hands out in front of us. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walking the feet together, toe healing. Bringing the toes together or taking about a hip width distance stance. We inhale to rise, pressing the feet into the ground, coming up vertebra by vertebra. Until finally we roll our shoulders back, letting our chin rise last. Feel free to shake out the clothes, shake out the body a little bit. We'll move into a nice cool down, but first, taking the feet either again slightly hip width distance apart or toes together, heels slightly apart. Engage Utkatasana, chair pose. Lowering the buttocks down to the mat, engaging the arms up overhead. Again, bringing the shoulders together and down our backs. Engaging the core and making sure that our knees aren't coming out in front of our feet. I know I'm a big black mass, so sorry for bad instructional clothing color. Inhale, come down a little bit further. On your next inhale, a little bit further than that. And then even a little bit further. Until bring your butt all the way to the ground. Bringing your feet out in front of you. Feet on the ground. Don't worry. We're still standing for the rest of this. We're just giving ourselves the chance to lower down, engage the core a little bit more. Cross your feet, rocking back and then forward, letting your knees connect to the ground. Straightening out your feet. Push back until your heels hit the floor. Walk your hands up. Your feet should be about hip width distance apart now. You're in this kind of lackadaisical forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift here. Drawing the hands up the thighs, the body comes parallel to the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise your right foot, just the front part of it, off the ground, and tuck your hand so that your toes are just in the palm of your hand. And do it on the other side. When you're ready, inhale and extend the legs. You can keep a bend in your knees if you need, but we're pulling up through the shoulders and through the hips. Exhale, relax. Inhale again, straightening the legs, the arms, giving our hamstrings some loving here. Exhale, bending knees again. Releasing the hands. You can roll all the way up, root to rise. Again, the last thing raising should be your chin. Ooh. I don't know if you guys could hear any of that, but that was gross of my neck. So cranky. All right, we are almost wrapped up here. We've got just one last thing. We're going to do some standing pigeon, which is a little complex. So if you need, not complex, it's a little hard to balance if you haven't done it before. So if you need a wall or a chair back or anything like that, no harm in using it. We're going to take our feet about hip width distance apart, facing directly forward, shifting our weight into our left hip. We'll raise the right leg, crossing it so our right ankle comes to above our left knee. Make sure you're not pressing it directly into that kneecap. We want it a good 2 or 3 inches above it. And inhale to sit down. This is a cool down pose that also continues to engage and challenge us. If you'd like to add some more pigeon into this, make sure that your foot is flexed and you can gently press down on your right knee. Again, if you need a chair back or a wall to keep a hand on, no shame in it. Inhale to rise, bringing that knee back out in front of us. You can go ahead and set it down. Now we shift our weight into our right hip, inhaling to raise the knee to about a 90-degree angle. Option to extend it if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more. Inhale, bringing the left ankle across above the right knee on our thighs and engaging that seat. See why we warmed up our core a little bit before our cool down today. Again, remember to fully flex that left foot, protect your ankles, all of your tendons. Option to slightly press down on your left knee if you'd like to engage a more pigeon-like posture. And of course, use a chair back if you need it. Or a wall, a pet, something static. It can also help with your balance to find a point to gaze at and hold your focus. In any posture like this, where your knees are bent, I like to say choose one that's about 45 degree, at a 45 degree angle on the floor in front of you. Inhale, straightening that right leg, bringing our left leg out in front of us at that 90-degree angle again. And exhale, go ahead and set it down. We're going to do some standing windshield wipers to close us out today. We're taking a little standing Shavasana. Take your feet a little bit further than hip width distance apart, giving a really generous bend to your knees. We're going to focus on our left leg here, dropping it down. We're going to lift up the ankle, bend it in. Our right foot still out. You look like you're posing for weird posture magazine. You can see how shaky my left leg is though. We're just working on that really exaggerated internal rotation of the hip. Bring your feet back to that neutral stance. Generous bend in the knees again. Pivoting the right foot, drawing the knee in towards the left foot. Option here to bring the arms out, above, or adding in an arm stretch. It'll look weird. This will probably be the thumbnail because it's funny as heck to look at. Dropping our feet back to neutrality. Engaging that generous bend again. Left knee in. Pivot back. Right knee in. This helps our hip flexors. Whew. And our hamstrings, just to relieve them slightly while keeping them active. Lastly, wide-legged forward fold. Take the hips, you can't move your hips like that. Take your feet out further, planting the hands on the ground, folding as far forward as you can. Inhale, halfway lift, walking the hands out in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, toe heel your feet together. Toes together, heels slightly apart or hip width distance. Give yourself a little foot pedaling here. Just raising the ankles up off the ground. One final hamstring helper. Inhale, roll up through the hips, then through each vertebra individually, slowly as you'd like. Rolling the shoulders down the back, allowing the chin to rise last. We'll take just a short little standing Shavasana here. If you'd like to take a longer Shavasana or lay out on the ground for it, this is your time and your practice, so absolutely feel free to do so. For those who want to join me standing, take your feet hip width distance apart. Give yourself a few silly motions. Get yourself out of it. And eventually settle into stillness. Your feet just slightly wider than hip width distance apart. You can add a little sway to your stance if you'd like. Relaxing the hands down to either side of the body. Keeping your eyes closed. We settle into stillness. If you're standing for the Shavasana, make sure that you have a neutral bend in your knees. You don't want to lock out and then meet the floor faster than we'd like. With our bent knees, our hands at our side, let go of any controlled breath, allowing the mind to settle into stillness and to relax in the darkness. If you're worried about fainting with your knees, or if you're worried about engaging your knees too much and meeting the floor early, like I said, you can continue to keep a sway. This will help you from falling forward. Remembering that if at any point a thought we don't want pops into our brain in Shavasana or at any other time, all it takes to dismiss it is another Ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose, realigning our focus to our breath until we're ready to relax out of it again. Finally, we'll end this class with a chance to set an intention to send the energy from this practice towards, if you have a goal or objective, or even just a way you'd like to be. Find it, crystallize it into an objective statement. Something along the lines of, I am accomplished in my goals. I am strong. I have what I need. If you'd like to share my affirmation for today, you are welcome. Mine is, I am excited for what's down the line. We inhale our hands through to heart center, palms resting together gently. And with our statement in our mind, we inhale to charge. And open mouth exhale to send it into the world. Once more, inhale. Open mouth exhale. We guide our hands to third eye center. The teacher, the student, and the light in me acknowledges and shows the deepest respect and gratitude for the teacher, the student, and the light in you. We bow forward to seal our practice. Thank you so much for coming. If you'd like any classes, if you'd like to see any classes focused on muscle group, if you'd like more standing only classes, maybe some seated only classes, whatever you'd like, if you have a suggestion, we love to hear them. We have a suggestion box in our About page on Twitch, or you can shoot us an email at yogaflipside@gmail.com. Hit us up on socials. You can DM this account. Wherever you'd like, we're open to suggestions. If you have questions about yoga or specific asana, of course, we're happy to help there too. Thank you guys so much for coming to class today. I really appreciate you guys taking this time for not only coming to my class, but for yourselves this evening.